Hello, language learners. Welcome back to another episode of Learn English with Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki.
And I'm Tony. That's right, folks. It's your friendly neighborhood Tony here, ready to dive into another awesome topic with you all. So, what's on the menu for today, Nikki?
Well, Tony, today we're going to talk about something super important: mental health. It's all about keeping our minds happy and healthy, just like we keep our bodies in shape.
Absolutely, Nikki. Mental health is like a gym membership for the mind. And just like hitting the gym, it takes practice and effort to keep it in tip-top shape.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Tony. You know, mental health is something we all deal with, whether we realize it or not. And as English learners, it's crucial to have strategies to manage our mental well-being, especially when navigating the challenges of learning a new language.
Totally agree, Nikki. Learning a new language can be tough at times, but it's all about finding ways to stay positive and motivated. And hey, a little laughter never hurts either.
Absolutely, Tony. Speaking of laughter, did you hear the one about the grammar nerd who walked into a bar?
Oh, do tell, Nikki.
Well, he couldn't enjoy himself because he kept correcting everyone's pronunciation.
Classic. But on a serious note, folks, mental health is no joke. It's important to take care of ourselves and seek support when we need it. And hey, that's what we're here for, right? To learn and grow together.
You got it, Tony. So, grab your favorite beverage, kick back, and get ready to dive into the world of mental health with us. Stick around, because later on, we'll be chatting with some special guests who will share their own experiences and tips for maintaining good mental health.
That's right, Nikki. It's going to be awesome. You won't want to miss it.
We hope you're ready for some insightful discussions about mental health. Now, before we bring on our first guest, let's chat a bit more about why this topic is so important.
Absolutely, Nikki. One piece of advice I'd give to our listeners is to remember that it's okay not to be okay sometimes. We all have our ups and downs. And that's perfectly normal. The key is to recognize when we need support and to reach out for help when we do.
Couldn't agree more, Tony. And on that note, it's also important to practice self-care regularly. That means taking time for yourself to do things you enjoy, whether it's going for a walk, reading a book, or simply relaxing with some music. Self-care is like recharging your batteries. It helps you feel refreshed and ready to tackle whatever life throws your way.
Absolutely, Nikki. And hey, don't forget to laugh a little along the way. Laughter truly is the best medicine, and it can work wonders for your mental health. So, don't be afraid to find humor in the little things and share a good laugh with friends or family.
Wise words, Tony. All right, folks, now that we've got our mental health tips covered, it's time to hear from our first guest. Joining us today is the lovely Lily. Welcome to the show, Lily.
Hi, Nikki and Tony. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure, Lily. Now, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and your experience with mental health?
Well, I've struggled with anxiety for most of my life, but I've learned a lot of coping strategies along the way. One thing that really helps me is practicing mindfulness. Taking a few moments each day to focus on my breath and ground myself in the present moment helps calm my mind and reduce my anxiety.
That's fantastic advice, Lily. Mindfulness is such a powerful tool for managing stress and anxiety. Can you give us an example of how you incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine?
Sure. For me, it's as simple as taking a few deep breaths and focusing on the sensations in my body. I might close my eyes and tune into the sounds around me or pay attention to the feeling of my feet on the ground. It's amazing how something so small can make such a big difference in how I feel.
That's really inspiring, Lily. It just goes to show that even small actions can have a big impact on our mental well-being. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Absolutely, Lily. We appreciate your openness and honesty. And to our listeners out there, remember that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to mental health. It's all about finding what works best for you and making self-care a priority.
Well said, Tony. Stay tuned, folks. We've got more incredible guests and insightful conversations coming your way. You're listening to Learn English with Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. We hope you're enjoying our discussion on mental health and picking up some valuable tips along the way. Now, let's keep the momentum going with our next guest. Joining us now is the wonderful David. Welcome to the show, David.
Hi, Nikki and Tony. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here, David. Why don't you start by telling us a bit about yourself and how mental health has played a role in your life?
Sure thing. Well, I've struggled with depression for a long time, and it's been a journey learning how to manage it. One thing that's really helped me is staying connected with my support system. Whether it's reaching out to friends or talking to a therapist, having people I can rely on has made a world of difference in my recovery.
That's really important, David. Building a support network can make all the difference when you're going through tough times. Can you share with us a bit about how you found support from your friends and family?
Absolutely. My friends have been incredibly understanding and supportive, even when I haven't been able to articulate exactly what I'm going through. Just knowing that they're there for me, whether it's for a chat or a shoulder to lean on, has been a huge source of comfort.
That's so wonderful to hear, David. It just goes to show the power of human connection in times of need. And for our listeners out there, remember that it's okay to lean on others for support when you need it. We're all in this together.
Well said, Tony. David, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Your resilience and strength are truly inspiring.
Thank you, Nikki and Tony. It's been a pleasure to be here and to have the opportunity to share my experience with others. If it helps even just one person out there, then it's worth it.
Absolutely, David. Your story is sure to resonate with many of our listeners. Stay tuned, folks. We've got more amazing guests and insightful conversations coming your way. You're listening to Learn English with Podcast.
We're diving deep into our discussion on mental health, and we're so grateful to have such brave and inspiring guests sharing their stories with us. Now, let's keep the conversation going with our next guest. Joining us now is the incredible Sarah. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Hi, Nikki and Tony. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure, Sarah. Why don't you start by telling our listeners a bit about yourself and your journey with mental health?
Of course. Well, I've struggled with stress and burnout in the past. Especially when I was juggling work, school, and personal life all at once. One thing that really helped me was learning how to set boundaries and prioritize self-care. By saying no to things that drained my energy and yes to things that brought me joy, I was able to create more balance in my life.
That's fantastic advice, Sarah. Setting boundaries and making self-care a priority are essential for maintaining good mental health, especially in today's fast-paced world. Can you share with us a bit about how you learned to prioritize self-care?
Absolutely. It was definitely a learning process for me. I had to recognize that taking care of myself wasn't selfish, it was necessary for my well-being. So, I started carving out time in my schedule for activities that nourished my soul, whether it was going for a hike in nature, practicing yoga, or simply spending time with loved ones. And over time, I noticed a significant improvement in my mental health and overall happiness.
That's incredible, Sarah. It just goes to show that self-care isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And for our listeners out there, remember that you deserve to prioritize your well-being and set boundaries that honor your needs.
Well said, Tony. Sarah, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. Your journey is truly inspiring, and we appreciate your openness and honesty.
Thank you, Nikki and Tony. It's been a pleasure to be here and to share my experience with others. If it helps even just one person out there, then it's all worth it.
Absolutely, Sarah. We've got more incredible guests and valuable insights coming your way.
We're halfway through our discussion on mental health, and we've already heard some incredibly insightful stories from our guests. But before we bring on our next guest, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned so far.
Absolutely, Tony. One thing that stands out to me is the importance of self-awareness. Our guests have taught us that understanding our own mental health needs and recognizing when we need support is key to our well-being.
Definitely, Nikki. And speaking of support, building a strong support network is another crucial takeaway, whether it's friends, family, or professionals. Having people we can turn to during tough times can make all the difference.
Absolutely, Tony. And let's not forget the power of self-care. Our guests have shown us that taking time for ourselves and engaging in activities that bring us joy and relaxation can have a profound impact on our mental health.
Wise words, Nikki. And hey, let's not forget to sprinkle in a little laughter along the way. As we've seen, humor can be a powerful tool for boosting our mood and relieving stress.
You got it, Tony. Laughter truly is the best medicine. All right, folks, now that we've recapped our key takeaways, it's time to welcome our next guest to the show. Joining us now is the amazing Alex. Welcome, Alex.
Hi, Nikki and Tony. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure, Alex. Why don't you start by telling our listeners a bit about yourself and your experience with mental health?
Well, I've struggled with perfectionism and anxiety for as long as I can remember. It's been a journey learning how to manage those feelings and find balance in my life. One thing that's really helped me is practicing gratitude.
That's fantastic, Alex. Gratitude is such a powerful tool for shifting our perspective and finding joy in the present moment. Can you share with us a bit about how you incorporate gratitude into your daily life?
Absolutely. I make it a point to start each day by writing down 3 things I'm grateful for. It could be something as simple as a beautiful sunrise or a kind gesture from a friend. By focusing on the positive aspects of my life, I'm able to cultivate a sense of abundance and appreciation that helps me navigate challenges with greater resilience.
That's really inspiring, Alex. It just goes to show that a grateful heart is a happy heart. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Absolutely, Alex. Your journey is sure to resonate with many of our listeners. We've got more amazing guests and valuable insights coming your way. You're listening to Learn English with Podcast.
We're nearing the end of our episode on mental health, but before we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on some of the key words and phrases we've learned today. Tony, why don't you kick us off with the first word?
Sure thing, Nikki. The first word we learned today is mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about being present in the moment and paying attention to our thoughts, feelings, and sensations without judgment. For example, practicing mindfulness can involve activities like meditation, deep breathing, or simply taking a moment to tune into our surroundings. Let's say it together. Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Got it. The next word on our list is resilience. Resilience refers to our ability to bounce back from challenges and adversity. It's like having a spring in your step that helps you keep moving forward, even when times get tough. For instance, our guest David demonstrated incredible resilience in overcoming his struggles with depression. Let's try saying it together. Resilience.
Resilience. Excellent. Our third word is self-care. Self-care is all about taking intentional actions to prioritize our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. It's like giving yourself a little TLC, tender loving care, to recharge your batteries and nurture your soul, just like Sarah shared. Setting boundaries and making time for activities that bring us joy are essential forms of self-care. Let's say it loud and clear. Self-care.
Self-care. Got it. Our fourth word is support network. A support network consists of people who provide us with emotional, practical, and sometimes professional support during challenging times. It's like having a safety net of friends, family, and professionals who have our back when we need it most. As our guest Lily mentioned, staying connected with her support network has been crucial in managing her anxiety. Let's say it together. Support network.
Support network. Absolutely. Our fifth word is gratitude. Gratitude is the practice of recognizing and appreciating the good things in our lives, big and small. It's like putting on a pair of gratitude glasses that help us see the beauty and abundance all around us, as Alex shared. Starting each day with a gratitude practice can cultivate a sense of positivity and resilience. Let's express our gratitude by saying it together. Gratitude.
Gratitude. Wonderful. Our sixth word is boundaries. Boundaries are guidelines we set for ourselves to define what is acceptable and what is not in our relationships and interactions with others. It's like drawing a line in the sand to protect our time, energy, and emotional well-being. Just like Sarah mentioned, learning to set boundaries was key in preventing burnout and maintaining balance in her life. Let's establish our boundaries by saying it together. Boundaries.
Boundaries. Perfect. And finally, our seventh word is laughter. Laughter is the act of making sounds with our voice and body that express amusement and joy. It's like a universal language that brings people together and lightens the mood in any situation, as we've seen. Throughout the episode, laughter truly is the best medicine for boosting our mood and relieving stress. So let's spread some laughter by saying it together. Laughter.
Laughter. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. These 7 words are not only important for understanding today's topic on mental health, but also for navigating life's ups and downs with resilience and positivity. Keep practicing these words and remember to incorporate them into your daily conversations. Before we go, folks, we just want to take a moment to thank you all for tuning into today's episode. We hope you found it informative, insightful, and maybe even a little entertaining.
Absolutely, Nikki. And hey, if you enjoyed today's discussion and want to stay updated on future episodes, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like. And hey, why not share this video with your friends and family? Together, we can spread the love for learning English and mental health awareness.
That's right, Tony. Remember, the more we share, the more we learn and grow together. So, until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep practicing your English skills.
That's all we have for today, folks. Thank you for joining us on Learn English with Podcast. Until next time, take care and keep learning.